This will be 180 jury charge. Ready? Begin. Ladies and gentlemen, the second comment that I want to make in regards to the voir dire examination is as follows. I mentioned the attorneys have this opportunity, as limited as it is in time, to ask you questions to try to get to know something about you. It's possible, although it's never the intent of the attorneys, but it's possible that they may ask you a question that you, as soon as you hear it, say, oh my God, I wish they hadn't asked that. They may ask a question that strikes a sensitive nerve or get into an area that you would have preferred not to have gotten into. And if that is the case, then you have got to understand that the attorneys are asking questions not in order to embarrass you, not in order to pry into your personal lives, but because they have a job to do here, and their job is to represent their respective clients. If they were to pull any punches, if they were to refrain from asking questions that they thought might be sensitive to somebody on a jury, then they would not be doing their duty as attorneys. They are required to represent to their best ability their clients. And so please, if one of the attorneys asks you a question which you are not happy about, that you wish had not been asked, please do not hold it against that attorney's client. Obviously, that would be improper for you to do. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do sit on this jury, you will be advised that you are to judge this case on two things and two things alone. That being the law, which I give to you at the conclusion of the case, and of course, the testimony and the evidence which is adduced through the trial and nothing else. That would be clearly improper for any of you to base a decision, even in the smallest part, based on your like or dislike of one of the attorneys. I think you all understand that. So if they ask you a question that you wish they hadn't asked, I don't know, take a deep breath, swallow, whatever, and answer it and then let it go. There are sometimes some questions are asked which are highly embarrassing. We understand that. Questions that you just do not want to answer in open court. If that happens, and again, it's not the intent of the attorneys to do that, and I don't anticipate that occurring, but if it does happen and you just don't want to answer it, you raise your hand, and then you and I and the attorneys will adjourn into the privacy of my chambers, and we'll take the question up there. Ladies and gentlemen, after which I hope was a restful lunch break, we are ready to proceed with the trial in this matter. And both of the attorneys are here, and all the jurors are present and in their proper positions. By the way, those will, of course, be the seats that you will retain throughout the trial. We are ready to proceed with the trial itself today, and I will advise you that the first thing that can happen is that both of the attorneys have the opportunity of making what are known as opening statements to you. Now, just a word on the opening statement. Mr. Whitman will have the first opportunity to make an opening statement, and then Mr. Simpson will have the opportunity to make an opening statement. Because Mr. Simpson is the defense counsel, and because the burden is upon the people to prove the case, Mr. Simpson can either give an opening statement at this juncture, or he can reserve his right to make an opening statement until after the people have presented all their evidence immediately prior to the defense's case. At any rate, the comment that I want to make in regard to opening statements, and this applies to all remarks that may be made by the counsel or by myself throughout the trial, is that opening statements and comments made by the court or counsel are not evidence. The only evidence that you will receive, the only evidence that you can use in your deliberations is the evidence which is received under oath throughout the entire course of the trial, and only from the witness stand. The same way with an opening statement. It's the attorney's preview of what they plan to prove, what they expect to be able to prove, so that perhaps as the testimony comes in, you can follow it and understand it, understand where it falls into the case a little bit better. After both sides have given an opening statement or reserved the right to make an opening statement until a later time, then we will begin with the calling of the witnesses. All right, with this opening remark out of the way, I will simply call upon Mr. Whitworth to make his opening statement.